Hello and welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and this is the Breaking Free Show. And here we are once again on this beautiful Monday here in North Carolina. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Where are you calling from? What time is it where you are? I mean, not calling, excuse me. Where are you watching from? Because, we've got people watching from all over the world, and we're really excited to be here today. So thank you so much for joining us. I know your time is precious, and I am so honored that you have chosen to spend some of it with us. So thank you so much. I want to introduce Amnon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And Amnon is our producer, and he is here tweaking away at all the little things that go on behind the scenes or in the scenes to keep the scenes going. So you doing good?
Doing just fine. I was just watching
What?
the Skype chat that we have, and I remember I forgot about it. It's my birthday today.
Today's your what?
Today's my birthday. I forgot all about
You
it.
did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to sing happy birthday.
No, you can't because
Why?
it's copyrighted.
Okay, so happy birthday,
Thank
dear
you.
Amnon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Amnon. Happy birthday
Okay.
to you. How's that?
That's
right.
fine.
You got to be very careful.
That will go, yeah.
Really. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really important part. So for all of you out there that might be doing YouTube videos, want to do YouTube, want to do anything on YouTube, any kind of anythings like that, you must be very, very careful with the music that you choose to use, because they won't like it if it's somebody else's.
Right.
And
Happy
it
birthday
is.
a
So
big deal.
you got to be very careful. They will take your video off in a breath.
Yep.
So be very, very careful with all of that. So today we're happy to be here as always, and our topic for the day is creating a personal mission statement, which is something that is like your guiding star. And before we do that, I'm going to put up our first slide. Okay? All right, put up our first slide. There we go. Speak your mind. What does that mean? Speak your mind. It means that this show gives you the license, entitles you to say whatever you want, because we know you're going to say it from your heart, and it's going to be important, relevant to not just one person. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is relevant to one person, and that's enough. And it's relevant to many people. That's great too. If it matters to you, it matters to us. So you have the license on this show to say whatever you want without fear of judgment or criticism. We're not going to do that here. It's really important that you understand this, that this show is for you. You've got the right to call in, to share anything. Open up yourself up, and the world will open up with you. And in this show, it's about our freedom. It's about coming together and sharing and creating that freedom together. And so you are more than welcome anytime during the show to call in to 919-518-9773. You can Skype with us at Computers 2K Voice if you like. If you're calling from somewhere in the world and you don't want to use your phone, you're welcome to Skype. And you also can take part in our chat. So you just put in your name on the bottom little window there, and your nickname is perfectly great, and you can take part in the conversation that's going on there. So we're really excited about today's conversation about creating a personal mission statement. And I'm going to go through some slides with you and to tell you why that matters and how to do it. And by all means, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, how-tos, whatever, please call in. It's really important. So let's go to the first slide, okay? So your life is your message to the world. Make sure it's inspiring. So how you want to live your life, how you see yourself as part of this world really matters. And many years ago, I started this thing called Re-Enchant Planet Earth. And I didn't realize it was like a way of re-enchanting the planet. It meant to me that we have made life way too difficult, and it was time we all came together and worked on making it easy for each and every one of us. Anyway, there's a lot that it takes all of us to do that. It's all of our responsibilities to do that, and it goes on and on and on. Well, that became my personal mission, even if I don't tell anybody what it is. I don't even have to share it, but it's in here. It's my guiding star, whatever I do, whatever work I do, wherever I go. It's my path. It's what keeps me on my path. It's what says to me, Marilyn, is this who you are. Reenchant Planet Earth is about creating heaven on earth. Well, how am I going to do that in my everyday life? So if something comes to me and it's not reenchanting, I don't do it. And it's almost like reenchant has taken on a life of its own, which it has. And so if I'm about to do something, I check in with reenchant and I say, is this what reenchant would do? Is this a reenchanting thing? Am I going to enchant the planet? So the planet's already enchanted, right? My work is about helping to reenchant it, to get it back to its enchanting moments so that it blooms, it blossoms, and that people feel free and all of that stuff. So I check in with Reenchant and I'll go, is this Reenchant's mission? Because Reenchant and I are one. And I'll say, is this reenchanting? Is this going to help me do what I want to do? And if it's not, then I don't do it. So it helps keep me straight. It helps keep me honest to who I am and to my core values. So creating a personal mission statement does exactly that. It helps you be honest. So I want to remind you, to any point in time, if you've got something to say, add, if you created one before, please call in and share it with me, because I want to, want to talk about it. Next slide. Be yourself. No base imitator of another, but your best self. There is something which you can do better than, there is something you can do better than anyone. Listen to the inward voice and bravely obey that. Do the things at which you are great, not what you were never made for. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So what does this mean? That means that you have unique gifts, and the world needs your unique gifts. You don't need to imitate somebody else's gifts. They already have that gift, and that gift is already spoken for. Your gifts are not. Your gifts are your gifts, and the world needs them. So your mission is in utilizing those gifts, is in creating a statement that puts those gifts into the world and says, okay, here are my gifts. Here's my gifts to help this planet. And that's what you're good at. And everyone, I don't care where you're sitting, I don't care what you're doing, everyone has those gifts. I do a lot of coaching with people who want to get up and speak in front of groups of people, and they don't always know where to begin. Well, this gift that you have is your story. It's who you are, and you are an expert at it. No one is an expert at your story. So it helps you implement what you're going to say next and what you're going to do. And you are great at it. And again, nobody can do it better than you. So keep that in mind whenever you get up and speak, whenever you introduce yourself, wherever you are. It doesn't matter. Even when you walk into a room of strangers, you own something precious. And you walk into that room with that special gift that nobody in that room has but you. And it's your identity in this world. And that's your gift. And when you walk into any room and coming in with that gift, it's relevant and it's important. So you don't want to hold it back. Okay? Questions, anybody? Call me, 919-518-9773, or you can Skype in with us at Computers2K Voice. So let me check in on anything going on in that chat. Nothing at the moment, but please feel free to take part in it, because there are lots of things and lots of things you can learn in that chat. So let's go on with the next slide. Thank you, Slide Man. I'm not there pushing the button. Okay, free spirit. The definition of a free spirit is someone or something who lives by their own wishes and is unconstrained by society. Hence, this show is called Breaking Free, right? And so everything we do on this show is about helping each other, and I'm included in that, be freer and freer and freer, and own our gifts, own our individuality, own our free spiritism, and that we love that part of ourselves, that we can be a free spirit, and that we're not mimics and mirror of somebody else. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get to learn from somebody else, because we do. We get to learn, we get to grow because of each other's stories. We get to see other people. They give us permission to do it, to do something similar maybe. but it doesn't mean we mimic them. It doesn't mean that we walk in their step. We walk in our step. And every step along the way for each of us is our own freedom step. So we are free spirits. We get to be who we are. We get to access our gifts, and we get to put those gifts out into the world without being constrained by what society thinks. Because when we do this, we are connected to the universe. We're connected to our hearts. And there is nothing to fear and nothing, to worry about. And society is waiting on our gifts, even if they don't know it. And probably a lot of times, guess what? Society doesn't know that they're waiting on the gift that we're holding in our heart and in our hand. They don't know it. And maybe I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I know I have. I have this thing, and I get, like, sometimes my heart will beat, or I'll get nervous to share something new, to express a new thought. And maybe it's not always taken well in the first time go round. Maybe not the second, maybe not the third. But guess what? Either was the telephone. I don't think Bell was like, people looked at Bell and went, yes, that's what we need. We need a phone. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Do you think that's true? I really don't think people thought about a telephone until he did it. And then people thought, wow, this is cool, right? So when you initially come out with something special, you might not get people on your side, a lot of people, but you're going to get the important people who care about you and who love you, who might say, you know what, give it a try. Your supporters. And that's the people you want to have in your corner, are the supporters. So come out with your gift. Whatever people say, whatever they don't say, that's okay. It's your gift, right? Okay. Let's see. Nothing over there. Okay. There is? Oh, there is. What does it say? Chris, what advice do you have for the audience about identifying your personal gifts? Is there a test or good set of questions to ask yourself? Good question. Yes. What matters? I often say this. What pisses you off? What is it that's going on in the world that pisses you off that you want to make a difference with? What is your passion? I mean, and sometimes you want to just start, and it takes a little while. So don't expect, and I was going to say this later, don't expect these things to happen overnight, but you start somewhere. Maybe you're passionate about children. Maybe you're passionate about women. If you're a man listening, and maybe you're passionate about the flight of men. So you want to make that part of your mission statement. Part of your purpose in life is to find that thing and start with that. So if your mission is children, maybe you want to narrow it down and you want to say babies, or you want to say adolescents, or you want to say teenagers. You have a mission to help teenagers express themselves, find out who they are, explore their identity. Maybe your mission is to work with a certain population, maybe a certain part of the world. That's fine. Identify that. What is your core value? What matters most to your core? And one of the things that I found very interesting about core values is that it can change. It can grow. Maybe you say, what are your 3, 4, 5 core values? Maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, maybe it's spirituality, maybe it's kindness. You list your core values, and then you say to yourself, so how much am I living these core values? Am I living, taking care of my family 80% of the time, or am I at 10 or 20% of the time? Then you want to get up the amount of time you spend with your family. So you start in that. So you start with understanding your core values. You start with understanding what pisses you off. Every single time you read the newspaper, what is it that gets your goat? What is it that gets you all roused up? What is it? That becomes part of you building this mission statement. Don't be afraid to look at what pisses you off. Don't be afraid to look at what angers you. It's when we don't look at these things that anger and things that get you pissed off gets out of hand, feels awful, feels like you don't have a voice. Part of creating these things and in accessing our freedom is acknowledging our voice. Even if you don't speak it to someone else, as long as we acknowledge it ourselves, that is so very important. I don't walk around telling people my mission in life is to re-enchant the planet, but I know, in my heart, I know that my work is about re-enchanting the planet. That gives me hope. That tells me that the planet's already enchanted, and my job, even when I'm even when I'm in trouble, okay, even when I revert back beyond re-enchanting the planet, when I forget, when I'm going to get angry about something, whatever, I know that my mission is to re-enchant the planet, and being angry or doing something that's not enchanting isn't going to work. So it's my, like, you know, it's a voice in my head, it's a voice in my heart. So as you chip away at figuring out what your mission statement is, you want to once again check in with your core values. Start with 1, start with 2, 3, whatever it is, and you can keep adjusting them. You go back, you revisit them. Start out once again with what pisses you off. Or maybe you've seen someone do something, you go, yes, I love that. That tells you something. Jot it down. Jot down the things that you have tremendous feeling about, the things that motivate you one way or the other. It tells you something about who you are. So do not be afraid of what you find out, of what you hear. It's chipping away at the whole thing. Don't be afraid. Even if you sit back and you go, there's nothing. I'm passionate about nothing. Nothing pisses me off and nothing moves me. That's okay. But maybe you really haven't asked yourself on a regular basis, how do I feel about this? So when you see something on the news or you read a book, notice things about yourself. That will tell you, it's like a story you're developing. You're discovering your story. So start to do that. You know, if you don't pay attention in this way, of course you're not going to hear the story. Your story doesn't know to speak to you. Your story only knows to speak to you when you're listening. If you're not turned on, tuned in, if you don't have that station turned on the radio, you're not going to hear it. So by all means, tune in, listen to yourself, watch your actions, see how things feel, see the things you walk into a room, listen to the conversations that are around you, listen to the conversations that you take part in, hear what you're hearing, and see what happens. Okay, do we have another anything out there? No? Okay. All right. Here we go. Next, so free spirit. Remember, you are a free spirit, and the world needs what you have to say. Okay, next one. Knowing our personal mission further enhances the flow of mysterious coincidences as we are guided towards our destinies. First, we have a question. Then dreams, daydreams, and intuitions lead us towards the answers, which usually are synchronistically provided by the wisdom of another human being. Okay, very interesting. So what does that mean? So I'm going to read it again and I'm going to dissect it. Okay. Knowing our personal mission further enhances the flow of mysterious coincidences as we are guided towards our destinies. So our personal mission is something that has a tie to our heart, to our spirituality, to an alignment with the universe. It is like the universe talking to us and saying, this is the piece, this is the path, the road that you are needing to be on. We need you to do this. And when you find that personal mission, it is directly linked to what the universe has in store for you, especially if it's clear. Like for me, the universe had in store for me to help. I'm not the only one doing it, but to help re-enchant the planet. And when I listened to the universe call for me to re-enchant the planet, then all the things, or a lot of the things that I do, I'm guided by the universe. There's a message that says, yes, this is a re-enchanting, no, this isn't. And a lot of times when I find that re-enchanting thread, it works out. I am in alignment. I then can manifest in alignment with the universe what the universe has in store for me, which can only be good, which only can be wins. When I'm in alignment, I'm going to manifest what I'm intending and what's important for me to manifest. So you hear and you've heard lots of people talk about, manifesting their life, manifesting money, manifesting a job, manifesting whatever. When that work or that job or that whatever, that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that partner, whatever it is, the new home, if it's in alignment with your mission, in alignment with what you were intended to have in this universe, it will happen. So your personal mission is an expression of that alignment. I hope that makes sense, because I'm actually saying this to you for the first time. I don't, just so you know, I don't sit at home and I plan the shows, but I don't go into the depth that I'm going into them now, other than with you. I don't do that by myself. Your energy and my energy come together. And that's when these things come out of me, because you're here and you're with me here. Even though you may not be in the studio, I know that you're beyond that camera. And I know that you're listening, and I'm getting your vibes. And so together, this is manifesting in the moment. So that's what it is. Your mission statement is a verb, is an alignment with the universe. It's a message. And when you hear the pieces, you put it together, and that's when you get this entire statement. So first we have the question. What is my dream? I mean, not my dream. What is my mission? What was I meant to do? What am I here to do? What have I been doing that's worth it? You have all those questions. And then you have this desire, this dream of, what can I do in the world? Re-enchant the planet. You start thinking about it, you daydream, and you see yourself doing it. And then the intuition comes, the messages from the universe, right? That comes through your intuition that you hear when you're on target or when you're not. And that leads us to, yes, this is what I have to do. Yes, this is what I have to do now. No, this is not what I have to do right now. I'm wrong. I got to go here. Or it leads us to the tweeting, what's the word? When you tweak, when you tweak it. Because all along the way, you're going to be tweaking as you get clearer and clearer. What my mission statement was 10 years ago is not as clear as my statement is today. It's interesting, because 10 years ago or 12 years ago, my mission for Re-Enchant was that. But as I have grown, it's gotten clearer. Maybe I find my little shortcuts to get it done easier, or maybe actually I found more ways to do it. So everything I do is connected. They may look to some people as different, but for me, in Re-Enchanting, everything I do, whether it's coaching, whether it's a show, whether it's my thing on Google Plus, whatever I do, whatever my books that I'm writing, everything is about re-enchanting the planet. That is that's my current. That gets me going with all the things. I know that. It's very clear. Maybe 10 years ago I wasn't as clear. I didn't know about all these parts. So as we grow, we have to tweak our mission. But the overall sense of it, the essence of it, may very well also grows as I get clear. But there's some kind of something that is already there, some nugget. And then when we do, we then can synchronize our mission with the universe, and we manifest it. And then we get other people to help us, right? We're not here doing this alone. So that makes a big difference. Okay? What you laughing at? It was a whole story, wasn't it? Okay, is there anything here that I need to look at? Because you're helping me with this part. Can you see? What?
What ways will the universe let you know that what you're doing is not in alignment with your mission?
That's a good question. Well, if anybody has any comments, if you've been manifesting or wanting to manifest, or know you have a piece of your mission, a piece of your purpose, and it's working out, and then there's pieces that aren't, by all means call in. I can only speak from what I think is true, or what has worked for me already, or what I'm not sure is working. I can only speak, you know, about it now. So it's a hard question because I don't think you always know. When things work out, that's one way to know, right? When you're listening and you take a job and it's great, or when you read a book and it gives you some bit of information and that tells you something and that works out, or whatever it is, you know. And then you have to listen very carefully and and be as clear as you possibly can be, because it's like this boat, this wild boat. Let's put it to this way, it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride, and you got to listen and be patient. And sometimes you're not privy to everything right away. It's like your children, for instance. You know, when a teenager reaches, here in North Carolina, when a kid reaches 16 or 17, they get their license, but they only get a piece of their license. Maybe they get to drive up to a certain time of day, and they can only drive with an adult. And then as they get a little older, they get more benefits, and they can drive past 9 o'clock. They can drive with kids in the car. Maybe they can drive with 2 or 3, but then they can drive with whatever. I think that's the same thing with your mission statement and your purpose and your mission. I think that you might already have it clear, but maybe all the ways to accomplish it isn't so clear, or you don't accomplish it. And I think that's part of life's journey, and maybe from the beginning till the end. And I don't know what the end is, but the end as we know it in this lifetime, we're constantly working on it. And I don't think it's always that clear. I know that for me, my mission to re-enchant the planet, the actions that I take are not always clear. And sometimes I think it is, that this is an action I'm supposed to take to re-enchant. It's very clear, and I go and do it, and it didn't work out. It doesn't mean that re-enchanting the planet is not my purpose. It is. It just means that this particular action on this particular day, in this particular time, in this particular way, wasn't meant to be. Or for something, or maybe I needed to learn something else. So it's not so clear as to the action, but I know my job, I've been given the job to re-enchant, or to help re-enchant the planet. That I know is my job. And so it's a constant learning. So it's not so, I don't think it's that clear. I don't think the answer is clearly given. I think you just got to keep working at it. And maybe you work with someone to help you do that. Maybe you have a partner that you can chat with about these things, that you can be clear about. You know, sometimes you just notice one little thing, and that can make all the difference in the world. And sometimes you need that objective observer. That's why having another human, as that slide said before, is important, is to have somebody else bounce things off of. So I don't think it's completely clear, and I hope I just made sense to you. But it's not completely clear. Just get a handle on your purpose. And regardless of how big it seems, I think that's another interesting thing. My purpose to re-enchanting, or to helping to re-enchant the planet, could be daunting, because it's not just my job. I mean, it's a lot of people's job, and it can seem like, who am I to re-enchant the planet? It could seem so big. Don't look at the size of something. You start with one foot in front of the other. So my job to re-enchant the planet doesn't mean that I have to re-enchant the whole planet. If I help to re-enchant one person's life, I am re-enchanting the planet. If one person changes, then I am doing my job. If I sit here today and I discuss this idea of creating these personal mission statement, and one of you, or two of you, or 100 of you, or 1,000 of you learn one thing or hear one thing, then I am doing my job of re-enchanting the planet. Even if, you know what I mean? So don't worry about the size of your mission. Just start. That's all you have to do, because each step that you do is doing that mission. Okay? It doesn't say, it's not, you don't, it's not from this point to I have to get to here and I'm done. No, it's all the steps along the way is doing the mission. Okay.
Susiani wants you to define re-enchant.
Okie dokie. Good question. All right. So Susiani in the chat wants me to say what re-enchant means. So enchantment means that this is just enchanting. It's beautiful. Everything is blooming. Everybody's getting along. This is a heaven on earth, right? And it's lovely. So that's what we have here on this planet, on this earth. It's enchanting. We have food. We have gorgeous things going on, really and truly. But there is a layer of yuck on top of it. And this layer of yuck is something that we've created as a human population. As citizens of the world, our actions have created a level of yuck. And we get to, it's like a spell, and we get to clean up the spell, clean up the yuck. And when we do, we've got this beautiful planet. We've got art, we've got color, we've got beautiful skies. We have a beautiful place to live. And so my job in all the things that I do is helping to re-enchant it, helping to get the planet back to an enchanted state. And maybe it's never been that way because we've always been humans. However, our home here is beautiful, and the earth is beautiful, and there's culture, there's all kinds of lovely, beautiful things, mountains and trees and all kinds of stuff, music, art, and my job is to help to clean up that layer of yuck. And the way I do that is by helping to inspire people to be free spirits, because as free spirits and as people who are free, then we don't buy into the level of yuck. And if we don't buy into the level of yuck, then the level of yuck doesn't exist. That's the way we get rid of the layer of yuck, is by not paying attention to it. So war and all this kind of stuff, if we don't buy into and giving our power away, the level of yuck doesn't exist. So I'm helping to inspire people, empower people, show things that are being done that are good, so that we stop paying attention to that level of yuck and we create this, and we see the heaven on earth, the Garden of Eden that's here. Hope that made sense. It's involved, but again, I know what it means. And on the MarilynShannon.com website and on the Re-Enchant Planet Earth website, you'll see a beautiful poem about us re-enchanting the planet. And it speaks about everybody's part. Regardless of who you are, regardless of where you are, I think all of our jobs here ultimately is to re-enchant the planet, regardless of the piece you take, the piece that your mission statement takes. I think we're all here to re-enchant the planet. Okay? Is there another thing out there? Okay, good. All right, next. Okay, here we go. All right, next thing is... Okay. All right. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Maya Angelou. So that is her mission in life. And that's what a mission statement could look like. It's not merely to survive, but to thrive. That's her mission. And to do it with compassion, with humor, with passion, that's her mission statement. That is what speaks to her, and to give you all an idea. All right, next one. Okay, all you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence you know. write the truest sentence that you know to be true to you. You don't have to write a paragraph. You don't have to write a book. You just have to write one sentence that means something to you, that you want to live by, that is part of, again, that is your core value, matters most to you, down to your blood, to your guts, to your bone, to your core, and it matters to you. You know, regardless, that you're going to live life in humor, and everything you do is guided by that. That you're going to live your life helping families, helping kids have a family, and so everything you do is guided by that notion. Okay? Good?
Yeah, Susiani said first is I am.
I am. I am. Yes, she is. So that's her guiding factor. She is, or I am. Good. Okay, next one. Surround yourself with those on the same mission as you. How good is that one? Okay. Surround yourself with those on the same mission as you. Do your best. Some people are in your life, and you can't pick them. You might have picked them once before to come into this life, but you've already picked them. And they are with you, whether they're family members, that you know, whatever it is, and they're there, and you do the best you can. Maybe they're not supporters. So maybe people are in your life that are not supporters, and they're there so that you can get strong in your mission. Not waver, not quiver, not give up, but get stronger and stronger in your belief, and they're there for a reason. Maybe you have people in your life that are on the same page, that believe in re-enchanting the planet as I do. Maybe I surround myself and like to surround myself with people who believe in hope, believe that there is goodness in this world, and all we got to do is pay attention to it, and it will be so, instead of paying attention to the wars, the famine, the craziness that goes on. But that's people generated, just like there's hope, and there's compassion, and there's love, and there's humor, and there's goodness, people generated. Okay? So you want to, when you can choose, you want to surround yourself with people that support your ideas, that you support their ideas, so that you can collaborate, so that you can build that thing together. And for the people in your life that are not that way, but are in your life, they're there for a reason. They're there to teach you how to be strong in your belief, how not to give up. So don't give up, even if you're alone, but you believe so strongly in something. Find the people that are on your page and work with the people that aren't. Is there anything there on that? Okay, next one. Okay, once again, y'all, if you got something to say, you agree, you don't agree, you want to add something, you want a question, please call 919-518-9773 if you have a phone. And if you don't, and you can access us through the computer, contact us on Skype at Computers2K-Voice, or you can, take part in the chat as other people are. We'd love to have you. And if you just want to sit back and listen and chill out, that's great too. Any way you want, we're happy to have you. Okay, so to begin with the end, to begin with your mission statement is to begin with the end in mind, which means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know what you're going, where you're going, so that you better understand where you are now, so that the steps that you take are always in the right direction. And I said this before, but this says it really, really well. What do you want? I want the planet re-enchanted. I want the planet not re-enchanted, I want the planet enchanted. So everything I do is to re-enchant the planet. My end is to enchant the planet. You want to get rid of famine? You want to get rid of poverty? What do you want? Then you start with that. And everything you do is guided by that end result. Okay? Makes it pretty easy, or sort of easy. And maybe your end now is not the end that you end up with at the end. Maybe your end now is all you know. That's okay. You start somewhere. Start somewhere. Maybe, you can't think beyond that one piece, That's okay. That's just go there and start with that as your end, and then work your way to that end. And if you get to that end, when you get to that end, maybe then or before that end, you'll realize, I didn't hold it big enough, or I could do this, or maybe the universe gives you a little roadblock and takes you in a different direction. So you want to listen, and takes you past what you thought was the end. So you have to listen, but start with some end in mind. Okay. So I went to the Stephen Covey website, which Chris had guided me to, and it was a wealth of information about creating a mission statement. And I'm going to go through some of that with you now. So take notes if you like, and we'll have this on the MarilynShannon.com website as well, so you can get to it. So writing a mission statement can be the most important activity an individual can take to truly lead one's life. Victor Hugo once said, "There is nothing as powerful as an idea whose time has finally come." You may call it a credo, you may call it philosophy, you may call it a purpose statement. That's your idea. And it's phenomenal when you find it. It's phenomenal to know yourself, to feel yourself. It's like, wow, I get me. And it comes through your mission statement. Next one. So when we create a mission statement of our own and choose to live by it, we can flow with the changes. So that's your question, Chris, earlier. When you connect with that mission and things don't work out between point C and point D, whatever you think it is, it doesn't matter. You have such power and such hope and such a knowing and connection to that mission. It doesn't matter if things along the way may not work. You're okay with taking a roadblock. You're okay with turning left when you thought you had to go right, because you still have that mission in your heart. In order to write good mission statements, we must first begin at the very center of our circle of influence. That center comprised of our most basic paradigm, the lens through which we see the world. Whatever is at the center of our life will be the source of our security, guidance, wisdom, and power. It takes deep introspection, careful analysis, thoughtful expression, and often many rewrites to produce it in its final form and expression of your innermost values. So it's constantly, like I said earlier, going to be tweaked. It's constantly going to change. And maybe the overall mission doesn't change, but your way of getting there does. Okay. In one's life, the most effective way to begin is with the end. We've talked about that. A mission statement is one that focuses what you want to be in terms of character and what you want to do in reference to the contribution and achievements that you want to have. That mission and vision statement is more powerful, more significant, more influential than the baggage of the past or even the accumulated noise of the present. It is your heartbeat, it is your soul, it is your godliness in action. And so all the other things that you've done, it get or have no focus. This has your focus. This is what has your heart beating like a hammer. This is what turns you on and gets you excited. Next, your mission statement becomes your constitution, the solid expression of your vision and values. It becomes the criterion by which you measure everything else in your life. It is how you want to live. So some suggestions in creating your mission statement. Maybe, this is all on the Stephen Covey website. Write down your roles as you now see them. Are you satisfied with the mirror image of your life? It's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say I am here and I'm not here. It tells you something. It helps you build it. And listen, there is a mission statement for everyone. Just like I opened up earlier and I said, we all have gifts. Our mission statement is our way of living, expressing, using that gift, and we all have it. So it's okay. By chipping away, by finding out this works, this doesn't work, this worked some, but this part didn't work. It's all part of this discovery. Okay? Start a collection of notes, quotes, and ideas you may want to use as resource material in writing your personal mission statement. So everything you see, every quote as it says, write it down, take it, look at the words. What word in that quote you felt something, you felt an emotional attachment for it. Write it down, take it, whatever it is. If it's about kids without families, I know I keep going back to that. If it's something about women that have been abused, whatever it is, men that have been abused, whatever that is, it gets you going, write it down. It's part of this building process. Identify a project you will be facing in the near future and apply the principle of mental creation. It's a project, or maybe you've seen a project somebody else has done, and something about that talks to you. Write it down. Write down what it is that talks to you. Write down what it is about it that you like. Write down what it is about it that you don't like. Don't be afraid of any of the information that comes, because you're on a mission to create a mission. Okay? All right. Write down the results you desire and what steps will lead you to those results. So write down everything. So keep a book, keep a journal, and maybe you call it your mission statement journal. I don't know. You call it something. Okay. So next slide. Here is a mission that I have, and one of my missions is to write a series of books. What is your mission? Maybe part of your mission is to express this mission in a book because nobody else has, or they haven't done it exactly the way you have done it because they can't possibly. So again, here's a way of expressing yourself. And there can be a million books written about freedom, but you're going to write it in such a way that's going to be different than the way anybody else is going to write it. And listen, there could be one person out there that connects with just the way you said it. And when you do, and when they do, hooray. That's your mission, is to get that one person, or to help that one person get something. And if your book did it, your mission is solved. Terrific, right? Okay, next one. We're asking you to give us information on what you'd like us to talk about on these shows, whether it's a particular guest, whether it's a particular story, whether you want to know something. We've gotten lots of people to comment already. We have people who want to know more about bipolar. We have people who want to know about technology. We have people who want to know about how to be free, how to do different things in their lives. And we're accumulating all this information, and we will, as part of our mission in breaking free and re-enchanting the planet, is to give you a forum, give you a place to come to hear these things, express yourself, all of that stuff. This is one way we get to do it. So please take part in it. You can go to Facebook. We have it there. Here is the link that you can write down and go right to that page and fill out the questionnaire. It's only 4 questions. It's very simple. Fill it out, and we will take the information, and in return, I am delighted to offer anybody that does this a half-hour complimentary coaching session on anything you want to be coached about. So any kind of anything. Could be family issues, maybe it's your mission statement. It doesn't matter. Complimentary, anything you want, we'll make up a time and we'll do it. Okay, so jot this crazy quote down, a crazy website down so you can find that page. Okay, next thing. Look, as I've said many times, this show is about freedom, breaking free. So everything I do is part of that re-enchanting the planet. So it's helping to give people a voice that may not have a voice. So one of the ways I do that is with a page called Marilyn's Favorite Things on my website. So if you have art, you have something you have to sell, if it's environmental, if it has a purpose, then we would love to share it. And we will put it on our Marilyn's Favorite Thing page. So you have a place to share it. That's one of the ways that I can help do that. Just let me know. You can contact me at Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com with your idea, and we'll work on it. Okay, the next page. And we right now have some clothing on there, which I actually like. So, if you would like to share your mission statement with me, please send it to Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. You can connect with me anytime about anything at all. And if you have a story to share, an idea for the show, a product or art for our Marilyn's Favorite page, please do that. And please don't forget to take our survey, because it's important. It's a way for you to be heard. It's a way for us to support you, and it's a way for us to work together to re-enchant the planet. Ta-dum! Okay? So, that is all that I big deal on mission statements. Big deal on your personal mission statement. It is your movement. You know, you hear about this movement, and you hear about this movement, and you hear about, it is your movement. It is what you rally with. It is what you get behind. Maybe it helps guide you on what you eat. Maybe it helps guide you on what you read. It helps guide you with everything that you do in life. It helps you be the person that you were meant to be. And so, do that. Create that mission statement. Have fun with it. Take it line by line. Work with the first line. I want to live in humor. I want to live with compassion. So every day, you know that your guiding star is to live with compassion. So when you want to get pissed, you want to get angry about something, well, you don't want to give somebody a chance, or you want to judge, you remember, part of my personal mission, or my mission, is to live with compassion. That helps you not get pissed. It helps you live a life that is loving and thoughtful. And so that starts your journey on maybe the rest of your mission statement, or maybe that's it. Maybe that's enough. There's nobody grading it or rating it. It's your guiding star. What's yours? None.
Well, I mean, I'm listening, and I've got a whole different philosophy.
Okay, what is it?
First of all, I mean, there are certain inconsistencies here.
In what way?
If your mission statement is your constitution, then you have to. There is no such thing. Oh well, this doesn't matter, and this doesn't matter. I mean, we're not.
What do you mean?
You can't. I mean, the Constitution you have to follow. I know our president doesn't, and other people don't, but Constitution, there is no. Oh well, maybe I'm not here, so I'm not worried about that. No, you can't. If it's a Constitution, then you go by it. In my opinion, you're better off keeping your mission statement or mission in your head, and be aware that
or your heart,
it can always. Oh yeah.
You can always write an amendment.
Oh yeah, right, yeah,
But
exactly.
I think, so what is it you don't agree with? Because that's what you would do. You'd write
I
an amendment.
but I wouldn't call it
What?
Constitution, because I mean,
Okay.
instead of saying I will do this, I don't do that.
What do
I
you
don't
do?
like failures, so I say I will try and do this, and I know that I'm
Oh,
going.
we're going to have to get into a conversation about failing. 'Cause
No,
there's
no. I
failing
mean,
here.
if you say I am going to take this step from here to there,
Right.
and in a second I broke my leg, I can't take that step. Oh shoot, I failed. I mean, this is an extreme, but there's a lot of things you cannot do. You're not capable of doing. You were never set up to do this. You were never made to, and yet you say, well, you know.
So what would you call that?
So
what would you call that for a show? If we were going to do a show on that, what would you call that?
I have no idea. I'm just telling you
There
my
is no
idea.
failure, first of all.
There's always a failure if you are telling yourself, look, if I'm going to go out right now and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go down to Food Lion,
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a lottery ticket and I'm going to win $100 million. And I live my life accordingly. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, but we're not.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all just samples.
Yeah, but that's not a mission.
No, my mission. There are a lot of people. Missions
Okay.
in life is to make a lot of money
Right.
real quick and quit work and go and live, in luxury. It doesn't work. Maybe it works for some people who know how to manipulate other people, but in most cases, it doesn't work. And if you
well,
make
your
that your
mission-
mission,
right.
then you fail.
Well, your mission you would want to have your mission for it to be a true mission that we're talking about, in alignment with the universe,
Right.
in alignment with your character, in alignment with your purpose,
Well,
which
then
is not short-sighted.
okay. In that case, then it's not my mission. Because
Well-
if I have to consider first what is it going to be in alignment with the universe? Oh, it may not be in alignment, but this is what I want to do.
But that's
then
not,
at that
but
point,
that's
it's
not
not
a
my mission anymore.
But that's not what we're talking about. And we're going to have to find out what he's talking about and do a show of what I'm talking about versus what he's
Okay.
talking about, because that's not sustainable. Your mission statement is at your core. It is not an ego thing. It is at your core. So if you have roadblocks along the way, as we said earlier, you're not giving it up because it's your core. It is your heart speaking. Your heart would not speak and say, "I want to make $1 million tomorrow." That's not your heart speaking. So it is not your mission statement.
Correct. And
That is your
yeah.
ego statement, and we are not talking about that. We are talking about what your heart is speaking. What are you hearing from your intuition? Maybe you want to make money. That's nothing wrong with making money, but your mission statement is not that.
Right, I agree. In most cases, it's not. This is why I said these are just kind of samples of the way that I'm thinking. I would rather tell myself, even when you're talking about, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather say to myself, I'd rather be honest, because there may come a time where by being dishonest, you're actually doing a service. It's possible.
Where is that?
I don't know, but there's always
So-
could also always be a situation
okay.
where you have to lie or you have to hide something from somebody and not tell them,
It
or
depends.
something like that. I know it depends.
I don't know. It's not, but it's not for the ego's sake. There's a very big difference in what, and there. The thing is, if you're connected to your heart and you're connected to this mission,
Right.
even when things don't always work out, you have this connection. You know that you've surrendered the ego fear. There is no fear. You just, even if you've lived your life the best that you can based on this mission, even in a moment, if it doesn't work, you don't give up.
Right.
It's still your mission. Because it didn't work up today doesn't mean it's not working out.
But-
Maybe it didn't work out today because the way you were going about it isn't meant to work out or didn't work out, and there's something better.
Okay.
That's all. But there's no
Right.
such thing as failing.
But okay, so I mean,
No.
it's almost like we're arguing. So
No,
my
we're not
point
arguing.
is, my
It's
point
not an
is by
argument.
saying to yourself, "I will try," and blah 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 blah
There's
blah.
no such thing as trying either, because
You
if
have
you're
to.
doing it, no. If you're trying, you're actually doing. That's what doing looks like.
Then you don't need to worry about your mission statement because that's going to be your
but
way
it
of life.
identifies.
You don't have to follow.
Yeah, but
anything.
everybody has a specific, something
So-
that talks to them.
Somebody was saying that
Who?
your mission is like your map. Well, what do you do with a map? You keep looking
It's a
at
good
it and
guide.
you keep making sure that you are on the right
Yes,
track.
you check in with
You
yourself.
okay, now
Yeah.
if this is your mission in life, then you don't need that guidance because you are going in that path and you are not going to veer left on right. All right. You are going because it's inside and you are going. You don't need anybody. I mean,
But we
do you
are
have-
human, so you need the words.
Do you have a mission to breathe?
I don't think about it.
Exactly.
I know, but we are human.
Yeah.
And every day, and we are a human having a human experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're human having a spiritual experience, and we're spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. So we're having all of those things at one time. And part of being on this is working at this.
Right.
Is it's, if it was that easy, we would not. It wouldn't be this.
Okay, so what the different?
It wouldn't be this.
No, tell me a different way of saying working at this. Trying.
It's not because trying is still on the fence. Every
Oh,
action.
no. Okay, so
every
maybe I don't know how to
action-
explain it.
Every
Okay.
action you do is, you can look at it as trial and error, but it's all about it's all doing, and it's learning, and it's earning, and it's growing. It's not that you're just trying.
No,
You
okay.
are. That's what trying is actually doing. It's doing the work. It's not trying to do the work. We're always trying. We're always doing, but you're actually doing it. You're not just trying to do this.
Okay.
You are actually doing it.
I think you took
okay,
it too
but anyway,
literally, but it's fine.
We are out of time.
Yeah.
But this has been a wonderful, I've loved it. I hope you loved it. I hope you'll be back again. Please do. Not hope. I know you'll be back again. See, I correct myself a lot when I hear myself say things that is not in alignment with being, with how I want to sound. I do correct myself in the moment. So you'll hear me like kind of talk to myself sometimes. But anyway, it's been really nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Thanks for sending all your good energy. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCBVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.